Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today on my channel, I have author Sharonica Nelson. Sharonica Nelson on my channel today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
So happy to be here, Miss Queenie. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, so a little bit about me is I am originally from Birmingham, Alabama, and right now I currently reside in Bessemer, Alabama with my family. I have a husband and a daughter, and I am an educator. I have been in education for over 10 years. Right now I currently serve as a literacy support specialist. I'm also an adjunct instructor. I am a writer. I have published quite a few of my own educational and academic articles. I speak at national conferences on education and my research, which I like to research writing instruction. I'm an English teacher at heart, and also urban education and just literacy. So that's my area of expertise. And one of my favorite things to do when I was in the classroom was to teach my poetry unit. And so poetry has always been a part of my life. It started out as I was a teen, underdeveloped in comparison to some of the other girls, and just trying to maneuver my way through just those teenage years, the hormonal changes and all of that. And so I found writing to be my piece, and it has kind of stuck with me ever since then. And so I kind of moved away from writing my poetry. I got more into the academic stuff, and when I got into school, of course, all those papers, and then with my doctorate, of course, the dissertation and all of that. And so here lately, with everything going on with the pandemic, just having some time to really just sit back and reflect and think. And then also due to the passing of my grandmother, it really just put me in a place of needing to find solace and peace. And writing was just that thing for me. So I said, I'm going to put out my first book. And I wanted it to be my poetry because, again, poetry has always been my baby, but it had been on the back burner. So I said, no, I'm going to bring it back to the forefront, and I want to put my voice out there. And so I have published my first book, and it is a poetry collection. So I know you just asked for a little bit about me, and I kind of took it and ran with it. But
That's okay. That's okay. Now tell us about your book.
Okay, so my book is entitled Unapologetic, a poetry collection. And so again, everything that's going on societally, really the racial injustice, again, stemming from, the loss of my grandmother back in this past May. And I know I'm not the only one that's been feeling just that heavy feeling. Needing to find a way to work through all those emotions and wanting peace. And so that's what I try to do in the book. I talk about the social injustice, which is one of the main reasons why it's entitled Unapologetic, because I call out the racism. I call out the treatment of Black men. I come from the viewpoint of just the everyday Black female perspective. So I wanted to highlight that lens of, well, how do we feel when our men leave the house every day and we're having to kind of worry and wonder, given the issues of the current state of policing. It is a worry for us. And then as just professional women, what is it like to sit in meetings when you're almost feeling like you have a place that they want you to be in, but you're just as intelligent and just as we bring something to the table also, but almost feeling kind of overlooked at times. And then also, I just really sing the praises of our culture. So often when we look at TV, we're seen as culturally deprived, or you see shows like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Don't get me wrong, I get my fix from watching those also, but the downside of it is, people that are not a part of our culture, they think that that's us. They think that that's how all of us behave, and that we're confrontational, and that we are you know, we put each other down constantly or looking for drama every time you turn around. We're also portrayed as welfare and ghetto queens, but that is just not us. You know, we live regular day-to-day lives. We
Yeah.
are loving people. We are beautiful people. We are intelligent. We are some of the most I believe that Black women are the most educated group in America. You know, but again, it kind of feels like we can be overlooked. And we run into a lot of unnecessary roadblocks as it pertains to us putting our voices out there and showing ourselves in a different light. And so that's what my book is about. I sing the praises of our culture. I call out the racial injustice. I talk about the love of a Black woman and Black love in general. I talk about the love of our grandmothers, because so often, you know, our grandmothers are the backbones and the matriarchs of our family, and how even when they go on, we still feel that love, and that love is what keeps us going from generation to generation. So I just sing the praises of our culture, and just wanted to give that lens of everything from a Black female perspective.
Okay. Would you like to read a couple of poems for us?
Absolutely. So you tell me, Miss Queenie, what are you feeling? What do you know, the book is separated into three different sections.
Mhm.
I have love, life, and society. So you feeling something from love? You want me to hear me talk about love, or you something from society, a little bit on
Life.
race?
Life.
Life. Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So let me find one on life. Let's okay. I am going to read this one entitled Insatiable Purpose. It's called Insatiable Purpose. Okay, and this poem is basically about how in life we're all trying to figure out our purpose. You know, so often we try this and we try that and we still find ourselves unsatisfied, but we go our whole life basically trying to figure out, what am I here for? You know, what is it that I can do? And so I'm going to read this poem for you. I'm trying to get my pages correct, okay? Again, it's entitled Insatiable Purpose. We all have two commonalities: death and purpose. One of those we may never meet, the other chases us daily until it finally wins. We run frantically from death, but only truth seekers really encounter purpose. This is the greatest conundrum of life: continual resistance of death while in continual pursuit of purpose. And on purpose chasing, I only know these things: that whatever he has for me is for me, that he knew me before he formed me in the womb, that he knows the plans that he has for me, that all things are possible through him, and that I've never seen the righteous forsaken. So I'll just keep studying my word and keep striving for my purpose. God is blessing me daily to continually and earnestly search for purpose in him while evading death. We are all housed on life's dead-end street, hoping purpose pulls into the driveway before the hearse.
Wow.
And that's that one.
Okay. So your genre is poetry inspirational?
Yes, ma'am. A lot of it is inspirational, but then, like I said, some of it, you know, I just kind of call out, you know, injustices. So I would like to think that, you know, the genre is poetry, but you know, the tone of it, you know, can be various things, you know. So
What,
quite a few different subjects that I hit on.
okay. What drew you to this genre?
You know, like I mentioned earlier, I always poetry has just been a huge part of my life. Like I said, ever since I've been preteen and more so in my teenage years. Um, you know, just trying to work through all those emotions. So it's been a part of my life for over 20 something years. Even now, here's my notebook. I always kept notebooks, you know, whereas people would say that they journaled. Um, my journaling was always in the form of poetry, which I found that interesting. I never knew why, but I could always get my thoughts out better if I put it in the form of poetry, whether it be like a free verse or even haikus. Just however I could get it out, it always just kind of went back to a poetic style. And so, like I said, here's my notebook that I have now. I actually have two right here by me. Here's another one that I use. And I can remember just like I said, as a teenager, I always had a notebook beside my bed, so that I could write and think and process.
What does the title unapologetic means?
So for me, the title unapologetic, it means basically what it is, just, impenitent, without regret. I'm putting the lens of Black women, and don't get me wrong, us Black women, we are not monolithic. We are not all the same. There are so many things that make up a Black woman, our experiences and everything that we go through and have to fight through on a day-to-day basis. But so all of those things are why I chose the title unapologetic. Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Okay, so all of those things are why I chose the title unapologetic. There's actually a poem in here entitled Unapologetic, and that's why it's the namesake of the book. But just without regret, saying things that have needed to be said in terms of race, and just putting that viewpoint out there, singing the praises of our culture, love of self and love of culture, love of others. And we do that unapologetically. We've been, throughout the years, ever since slavery, there has been forces that have tried to stop us, from loving each other, from celebrating who we are, from being proud of the culture. But in this book, I'm just unapologetic about it. We are who we are, and we are a beautiful people. And so that's what I try to celebrate. And that's the main reason why I entitled the book Unapologetic.
Okay, what do you think that the cover plays an important role in the buying process?
I'm sorry, could you ask me that question one more time?
Do you think that the cover of books play an important role in the buying process?
Yes, I do believe that the cover plays a role in people choosing your book, which is why I tried to go for something different. But yes, I do think that it does play a role. I tried to come up with something that I thought was bold, as in the title, Unapologetic. And then also, if you notice, there are polka dots on it. Well, actually, they're specks, not really polka dots. But I chose that for a reason. I chose that because, again, as a Black community, we are all different. We are not monolithic. And so I wanted to, I put those specks on there to kind of represent us. Even though all of us are different, we still share the love of our culture and our people, and especially as Black women, and just a way to kind of connect us that we're different. We're just a different type of people, but we are beautiful people again. And then you see like a big red paint splash on the front, also with unapologetic written on it. And that's why, because in the midst of all of that, we are going to unapologetically continue to thrive and continue to live and continue to love. And so, yeah, that's the little, I know you didn't ask me for the meaning behind my cover, but I thought it would be a good time for me to interject that, because again, I do think that the cover should have meaning and that it does influence the buying process of your book.
How do you market your book?
So right now I am really pushing it out in a lot of the different Facebook groups that I'm in. I have started my own website, and I'm getting people to sign up for it so that they can, receive newsletters and updates as we get closer to the time of publication. I'm doing stuff like what I'm doing right now with you. When people are asking for interviews, I'm just putting my name out there and doing those interviews, and just, trying to push the book. And then also Facebook, putting it on my page, and it's been shared, so many times, and through family, they have been sharing it. And So just using all the different methods that I can to put the word out about my upcoming title, which will be released October 21st, which is actually my birthday. So
Oh,
yeah, so I look at that as a way of sort of marketing too, because people want to celebrate you, and so I'm like, hey, celebrate me for my birthday by purchasing my book. So hopefully that'll be a good marketing strategy as well. But it was also something that I really wanted to do for my birthday. Just a gift to myself. Something that I worked hard on. So.
what was your publishing journey like?
So my publishing journey for this book, um, a whole lot of stop and go and trying to figure it out. I actually wanted to submit it to some presses, to some small presses, to try to get it published. But then I just said again, this is something that I guess I can call it my little passion project. And I said I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna figure the whole process out myself. And just go for it. And it has been a learning experience. It has not been difficult though. If you have the time to really sit and just research and figure out how to do it, self-publishing is really not that hard. It's more time consuming than it is difficult. But luckily, being that I'm an educator and that due to the pandemic, we were kind of out, I had some time, so I felt like it was a perfect time for me to, compile my pieces and go ahead and go through the publishing process. And it has been very, very rewarding. I'm so proud of myself that I did it and that I have stuck with it. I'm not going to, make like it has been easy, because I wanted to quit a couple of times. Like I could just hire somebody to do this. But I just stuck with it and kept reading and researching, and it has all come together. So I'm excited about it.
Who is your favorite author and why?
So my favorite, that's a hard question because there are so many good ones. But for right now, if I had to name and choose an author, I would say Maya Angelou, because her poetry just really speaks to me. Every time I read something that she has written, it's like I find a new gem in it. And so her words are just so full of wisdom and so timeless that she is one that I just find myself going back to over and over and over again. So, she's definitely my favorite. I also like to sit and watch some of her clips of her on YouTube from various shows and various recordings, because again, there's just always so much wisdom in her words. So yeah, and she was definitely unapologetic.
Yes. Have you ever met her?
No, I did not get the chance to meet her before she passed away. And I deeply regret that, because she's one that if I had a list of people that I could meet, she would definitely be on it. But unfortunately, I did not.
Um, what is something you want your readers to know about you?
Something that I want my readers to know about me, um, that's a hard question. um, that I personally feel as though it's never too late to do anything that you want to do. So often we put time limits on ourselves, but as it pertains to me, I live by this quote: um, live life in a manner that there is no room for should've, could've, or would've. And that's how I just live my life. And so I would, say to anybody watching or listening, let that be your mantra always. Because that's what I do. Every accomplishment that I have made, and honestly, I'm blessed to say that I have accomplished pretty much everything that I have set out to do, through much prayer, through much supplication, and through a whole lot of hard work. But that's been my mantra, along with a bunch of other scriptures. But I just always say I'm not gonna have shoulda, coulda, and wouldas in the rearview mirror. I'm always gonna just, if I want to do it, I'm just gonna do it. Especially if I'm not hurting anybody or being doing anything that's detrimental to others. Why not go for it? If it's something positive and something to boost you and to even boost your morale, it's gonna make you feel better about yourself or put you in a better place, I say, why not do it? So that's the thing I want my authors to know about me. I don't let anything stop me or get in my way. I just try to continue pushing and doing the things that I want to do with the help of God and my family and my own determination. And so if I could encourage anybody to do anything, that's one of the big ones. You know, do whatever it is that is going to make you happy, and don't have any regrets in life. And that's how I try to live. So that's the one thing about me.
Okay. What or who inspires you as a writer?
Who inspires me as a writer? I think I would have to go back again to Maya Angelou, but also Toni Morrison. Her words, she just has a way of putting all of the emotion in there so concisely. You know, just every page that you turn that she has written is just so full of emotion. And that's something that I'm actually working on now, you know, trying to learn how to build more emotion and more feeling, especially into my poetry in less words. So being more concise and conveying my feelings, you know, just succinctly as she did. Because she didn't have to say a lot to make you know what the point that she's trying to get across. And I love many of her pieces for that reason. It's just so succinct and concise and full of emotion. And that's what I aspire to. So definitely Toni Morrison.
Okay. Is there anything that you find particularly challenging in your writing?
Let's see, something that I find particularly challenging in my writing, not necessarily the writing, because I'm pretty much, if I sit down, I can get the writing out, but I absolutely despise the editing process. I hate that, and that's a part of writing, right? You got to go back and edit it and kind of perfect it, and you know, get your punctuation and all of that. But so pertaining to writing, the editing part is my least favorite. I absolutely hate it, but it's necessary though.
What are you currently reading now?
I am currently reading, actually I have an advanced reader copy of Candace Illo's Everybody Looking. This is her, I think it's her debut book, but she's a poet and a dancer. And yeah, she's debuting this book and I'm reading it. It's about 400 pages, but it's well worth the read. It's a coming of age of really like a memoir in verse also, but a coming of age from her in elementary school up into college. And it's just so good when she's Nigerian. Her father was Nigerian and her mother was an absentee parent. And just watching her deal with adolescence and going on up into adulthood through her college years, it's just really something that I found interesting, mainly because it was in verse and it is so full of emotion. You can really feel it. She really makes you think the way that she words, like her wording and word choices. It is so good. But the main character, her name is Ada. And so the story is about her. It's not necessarily a memoir, but I think it's really speaking to a lot of what she went through in her own life. So very reflective of her own life. But it's just really good and refreshing to read a different take on I guess the memoir. Again, I don't think it is a memoir, but it is about her. And so it's really good. And like I said, it's written in verse, so in the form of different poems.
Okay. What are you working on right now?
So actually, I'm working on the final edits of Unapologetic, which I actually just submitted it today. So I am so excited about that. I'm another step closer to publishing this book that's again set for October 21st. And then I have moved on. I'm working on another one. It's going to be entitled Daydreaming. And so I'm basically going to break the book up into past, present, and future. But you know how you just kind of sit back and you just let your mind just kind of wander and go to different places. And I think we downplay the importance of daydreaming. Like we hear so much about meditation and, you know, everybody's on this meditation kick. And I think good. But sometimes, why not just stop in the moment and let your mind just go to wherever it takes you? I think that that is a form of relaxation. But I also think it's a way of coming up with new ideas and continually being inventive, just to sometimes let your mind go, just let it go wherever it will go. And so for that book, I'm gonna write about different daydreams that I have had. You know, there will be in the, again, still talking about a lot of things that really speak to me, like race and motherhood and family, but just in the form of shorter vignettes, like daydreaming.
Have
So
you, I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying I'm excited about it. That's all.
Okay. Have you ever thought about going over into another genre?
You know what? Actually, I have not. Now, I do write a lot of academic material, and I have been featured in some academic books and all of that. But in terms of like fiction or writing a memoir or an autobiography, I actually have not considered. I have not. Poetry has just been what really speaks to me in terms of getting my voice out. So I think that that's the genre, you know, for me. But who knows? Things change. People change, and you get new ideas. But for right now, I am content with the genre of poetry. And like I said, daydreaming will be another poetry collection also.
Okay. How can readers find you and your book?
So readers can find me. I am on Facebook at SMN Nelson. They can find me on Facebook. They can also find me on Instagram at SMN_Nelson. And then I also have a website. It is www.sharonicanelson.com. And those are the three places that they can find me.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
No, I think that's it. And I thought that this was pretty good interview. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Again, I'm just so excited about the book, and thank you for allowing me to share, you know, not only my gift, but you know, the fruits of my gift, my book. So I thank you for this platform.
Okay, let me ask one more question. Is it on pre-order right now?
Absolutely. They can pre-order it from my website. Again, that's www.sharonicanelson.com. And that's SHARONICA, Nelson, NELSON.com. They can go there and click on the books tab and just scroll all the way down, and you will see the pre-order link. And there are two options that you have. You can choose to pre-order just the signed copy of the book, or I have a package deal where you can get a signed copy of the book, a tote, a bookmark, and some other little goodies also for your support. So yeah, there are two options.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming in today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Again, this is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.